All right, tell Michelle Gray. How are you doing?
I'm doing awesome, Elisa. And Erik says, "Hi, Mama. I love you so, so much."
I love you too. Well, we're going to cover some unsolved missing children cases. So it might be some tears involved. I don't know. Oh, hi, Bella. I forgot to pick you up. Come here. Oh, this might be a two-part, so I might have to count these and cut them in half. But we'll
Okay.
get started. Let's start with Eaton Patz. On October 9th, 1972, then 6-year-old Eden Potts left the loft apartment he shared with his parents for school. For the first time, the young boy walked. Oh, the young boy. Oh my God! I bet they just had a hard decision. Should we let him walk to school? Walked from their home to the school bus stop all by himself. He was never seen again. The young boy's disappearance made local and international news. He was also the first missing child to have his photo printed on milk cartons in hopes of catching the attention of those who might have seen him. A wide search operation was also conducted. All the effort bore no fruit. Almost 5 decades later, he never was found. He remains missing. The worst thing about missing children cases is that they did not start and end with Eaton. A lot of other young children left their houses ready for a blissful day ahead, only to disappear without a trace. So what happened to him?
Hmm. Did I miss it? You said where this was from. Is this overseas?
No, but it sounds like an overseas person name. I don't know. I don't know. He made
I keep
local and
yeah. Hmm.
international news, so it sounds like it's here, local and international.
Um, I can see I can see two men. Erik is saying that he's passed. Um, ooh, it's not a very pleasant situation. There's two men that are involved. Erik is showing me they don't look like they're much older than 24 years old. One is in his teens. One had something, Erik is saying, like I want to say sadistic, but Erik says that it's like a sickness.
Oh,
A sickness. There's a conversation that happened with this boy because I can see the boy walking and I can see another one coming up to him and striking up a conversation. And the other one's hiding to the side, like got himself kind of out of the way to not intimidate the boy. Um, it's violent what happened to him
did they kill him right away?
shortly thereafter.
How did they kill him?
Beating.
Was there stabbing, any sodomy or anything like that?
Yes.
All of the above, stabbing and sodomy?
I'm not getting stabbing, but I am getting sodomy, and I'm also getting a lot of blunt force.
With
I can feel
or
I can feel with physical blunt force as well as there's something heavy. Um, it's like a plank.
okay.
His
Like
body,
or something?
yes, yes, and I can see train tracks.
Okay. Well, did he leave his body before he really started suffering?
Yes, he did.
Oh, thank
Yes,
God.
he did. And before I even said anything, because it was, I will share that it's very gruesome what I see, and
Mm.
I'm not seeing the whole thing. I can see bits and pieces of it, like just like if as if you were having a dream and you were just seeing like flashes, like you're remembering flashes. That's how it looks. And Erik is confirming that he did leave his body.
Good.
Um, he was out of his body. He also says that this was part of his contract. This had something to do, and it's so hard to say this, especially as a mother and
Yeah.
as any of us, you know, with how much we love our children, that this was contracted, that this was about the experience that he had with his soul, as well as the individuals that were involved in it. It also goes as far as the individuals and their family. And I'm not quite sure what Erik is getting about that, but has something to do with the one that was, we'll call him the perpetrator, because it seems heavily weighted on one of the two men more than the other, although they both were involved. And there's also a soul lesson there for the parents. And there's somebody else with the parents. I don't know if this is a sibling.
What kind of lessons?
Acceptance,
Mm.
faith,
Mm.
there is connection. So it was somebody in the family, and Erik is saying a parent, but I don't know if this child was adopted or there's more than one parental figure, because there is a parental figure that's in spirit.
Okay. All right. That was in spirit before the child.
After.
Or after. Okay, so where were either of these two men remorseful about it? Like the one that wasn't sadistic, maybe, or was
Yes, there's some guilt. There's also some drug abuse. It wasn't something that was present at the time. There was some play with drugs, but there was some drug abuse that continued, or that became, Erik saying that it was like a roller coaster and it rolled out of control. And this was a buildup of circumstances in their life, as well as this act for the other one, there's a sickness. There's like a mental illness. There's
oh,
something wrong with how that individual was perceiving.
yeah. Were either of them um, did they end up in prison for other reasons or punished for other reasons?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Erik, before you even completed that, Erik said that incarceration occurred due to something else, but it's not even something that has been spoken out. I'm just asking him if this is both of them that have been incarcerated, and he says no. He's talking about the one that's not mentally right being incarcerated, but the other one has had trouble.
Wait,
So I'm not getting.
who's the
Sorry.
mentally not right one? The sadistic one or the other one?
Yeah, yeah, the sadistic one.
Okay, so he's at. What about the other one? Is
The
he
other one was
dead?
in and out of jail.
Okay, okay.
Um,
Was
yeah,
it a hate crime? Maybe this guy is Jewish. I'm not sure. Was there some of that racism or?
Erik's not saying that that was the
Okay.
purpose.
Okay. Well, anything else to be learned from this missing child case?
uh, as a whole, for all of us that are listening, Erik is just saying that, this is something that we have to understand and have acceptance for a lot of things that happen in our world. Doesn't mean that these acts are okay, but
Yeah.
there's also this part of life that we do have to accept, that sometimes children don't come home,
Yeah.
and sometimes we don't always get all of the answers,
Yeah, but
and
they
we
do
still
go
need to
home
move on.
home. They do go home.
Yes, they all go home.
Yeah.
They
Well,
all go home.
one last question. How did these guys dispose of the remains? Get rid of the remains? Bury him? Throw him in a.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Yeah, I can see him under the earth.
All right. The next is Sarah Kinslow. It was 2001 when tragedy struck the Kinslow family. In May 14-year-old Sarah Kinslow was dropped off at her school in Texas. Little did her family know it would be the last time they'd see her. According to her friends, they and Sarah were planning to skip school that day, but their plans never pushed through as they did not see Sarah either. It was later found that at the time of her disappearance, Sarah was in a relationship with a man 4 years her senior at the time, oh, so 18, of her disappearance. Sarah was in a relationship with a man for who was arrested a week after Sarah vanished and charged with sexual assault of a child. He then told the police that he and Sarah thought about eloping, although he asserted that they never were serious about it. Although it was clear that Sarah didn't take with her purse and any set of clothes when she left, the circumstances of the case led the police to believe that the teen ran on her own. It's been 17 years since the girl disappeared, but until now, nobody could tell what exactly happened to Sarah Kinslow. What happened to her?
So I can see that when you were saying about the boyfriend, so Erik is just showing how she went to somebody that she knew. So she skipped out on her plans to be with somebody that she knew.
A
Erik,
girl?
is that,
What about?
no, this is the male. This is a
Oh,
male.
the 18-year-old?
Yes, is that the boyfriend?
Yeah, the one who was
Mm-hmm.
that was picked up for sexual assault of a child.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, who was arrested a week after Sarah vanished. Okay, go ahead.
I can see her body, so just trying to get Erik to fill in some of the blanks here for me.
Wait, was he guilty of what he was charged for? Sexual assault of a
Yes,
child?
yes.
Okay, all right.
Um, there's somebody else. There is somebody else that's involved or knows. He didn't murder her. The boyfriend didn't murder her. But there's somebody else that is connected to him. Okay. There's a marshy, wooded area that I can see her running into. I'm just going to ask Erik if he can give me a few more words aside from the visuals here. Okay. There's some sort of disturbance that happened. There's something that happened with the boyfriend, and there's another friend that's there.
In his
And I
apartment?
can see her, pardon me,
I'm sorry, in the boyfriend's apartment or home?
she ran from the boyfriend's apartment.
Okay.
She left the boyfriend's apartment. There's another male that followed her that is connected to the boyfriend, that knows the boyfriend. Erik's using the words monster,
Oh.
and she was killed. She was also raped. Whew.
Well, why did she leave the apartment? Was there an argument or a threat or something on what happened in the apartment?
um, I can feel her fear. Something turned, something didn't go well, and I can feel something about this boyfriend and who he's connected with trying to convince her of something. The way that she felt about this boy was not quite the way it was turning out, and she had gotten herself in a little too deep. But
Wait,
Erik says he's not the one that did anything. He's not the one that hurt her
so
or killed her.
was it the boyfriend or the associate
The
that
associate.
that started some conversation that was deeply disturbing, or both of
Yes.
them?
The boyfriend, he doesn't feel fully aware. Erik's saying like having like wanting something from her. He
Okay.
wanted something from her, and she had seen a difference in his behavior that she hadn't witnessed before. And being in the
Oh,
location that she was at, he's saying how things got out of hand and her trying to leave the situation. There was already acts or something that was done that it was like this went too far.
so he came on to her, the boyfriend,
Mm-hmm.
too much.
Mm-hmm.
Did the associate also come on to her?
He wanted to.
Okay, okay.
And so this is what this Erik's calling it a sex crime.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay, so she ran, the monster followed, he caught up with her, and exactly what did he do to her besides rape her, obviously, and how was she killed?
She was beaten. Um, a, a rock, I can see a rock,
Mhm.
and put in water
Was she put into water before or after she died?
after. After.
Did she leave her body before she was beaten by the rock, or? Um,
Erik says that upon the first blunt force hit, because he says killed instantly, and her body, he snaps his fingers like out.
okay, good. Spiritual contract at all?
Erik is saying that there was a spiritual contract for her to die in an unnatural cause. The exact form of how she would die, meaning the circumstances, were not set in stone.
Okay. Was the body of water like a pond or a swamp or a lake, or what was it?
It looks really marshy. It looks very muddy, wet, and it's not quite as wide as a lake. And it's deep set. I can see a lot of long grass around it.
Okay. How far away from the school do you think it is, Erik?
He's using the number 15. I would say kilometers, 15
Really?
miles.
Not yards, maybe? I mean, 1,500 yards, maybe, or 15 miles, 15.
He's not clarifying. He just keeps saying 15.
Okay, don't
15.
worry. It's not that important. But anyway, all right. So I'm sure she can't run 15 kilometers away from the boyfriend. All right. So
No.
the two guys, the monster, what happened to him? Where is he now?
Erik
Not
says that he's living life.
God.
He's living his life.
What about the
Um,
boyfriend? What happened to him?
he's also commenting that because that just gave me such a sick feeling, and Erik says it's not a very productive life.
Okay. Has he killed anybody else or
No.
raped anybody else?
No.
What about the boyfriend?
He beats though. Um, the boyfriend has anger. There's anger. There's also frustration, but I don't feel any type of. Erik says a remorse. A remorse.
Okay. Has
Um,
done anything criminal or sex crimes?
Erik's calling it petty
Uh,
crime.
but any sexual assault, pedophilia, anything like that?
No,
Are these guys married? Children?
the boyfriend is.
Okay. Oof. All right. We will go on.
Hmm.
Cherry Mahan. We can learn so much from these things, though, really.
Hmm.
Leroy McKinney. Oh, wait. Will these two that we've talked about already, will they eventually be solved?
Erik said no.
Okay. Sherry Mahan. Leroy McKinney often drove little Cherry I guess it is Cherrie, the 50 yards from the school bus stop and Willfield Road to their mobile home. But on February 22nd, 1985, he and his wife Janice decided to have the 8-year-old walk home, a decision they'd forever regret. Last seen wearing a gray coat, blue denim skirt, blue leg warmers, ankle boots, and earmuffs due to the cold weather at around 4 p.m. and just a short walk away from their house, Cherrie went missing. It was a snowy day, but no footprints were seen on the way leading to the McKinney's home. So they're not even relatives, I don't think. It was a snowy day, okay, prompting the police to believe Cherrie was abducted shortly after she got off the school bus. Leroy shared that he heard the bus pull up and leave that day. When he noticed that Cherrie still wasn't home a few minutes after the bus left, he drove to the stop. But he did not see her stepdaughter there, so he rushed back home and Janice called the police. There was little to no clue on how the girl disappeared, except for a unique-looking van. Interviews with neighbors and children on board the bus helped the police determine that the van was a bright blue or green 1976 Dodge. Why would they even allow that? Which had been following the bus. It had an unusual mural painting of a skier scaling down a snow-capped mountain. One of the most talked about missing children cases, disappearance of Cherrie Mahan, remains unsolved. No arrests have been made, and the schoolgirl is still nowhere to be found. Come on, the school bus driver would let that happen? All right. Will that ever be solved, first of all?
Mm-hmm. Eric's saying that it's very unlikely.
Okay.
So he says it's not something that is set in stone, but there is evidence of her remains. He's brought me, as you were speaking, he's brought me into a basement of a home. This is within the same city limits, or like not right in the same neighborhood, but taken to another location. The home is, because it's a male. He's showing me a male that has a little bit of weight on him. He's got a mustache. And as sick as this is, it's like she was lured in with a dog or like an animal lured over near the van. He knew exactly. There was somebody else on the bus too, because Erik says there was another child that he was targeting. So there was somebody else that this man was looking at, and it was like who came first, who stepped out first, or what gave him the best opportunity. This child is, this child has been dismembered.
After death, I hope.
Mm-hmm.
How was she killed?
With an axe.
To where?
Back of the head.
Did she get out of her body before that happened?
Yeah, and Erik, he's also saying, as you're saying that, he says, Mom, keep in mind with a lot of these traumatic type deaths that, and even with death in general, not always, but a lot of times with trauma, the soul does leave the body prior to having impact and prior to that type of pain, unless the pain is part of what is to be experienced, but especially with children, he says.
Did she experience any moments of terror, or was she didn't have any idea, or what?
She was scared. She was scared. I can see a basement, and there's wooden steps going down to the basement that are painted, and the basement is not finished. There's like a looks like a brick that was painted with green paint. Her body's dismembered, and it's at this location.
Is it in a
It's
freezer?
no, it's like there's something underneath the house. Erik is saying buried underneath the house, and I just asked him if this individual is still living at this house, and I'm not getting that he lives there, but it's like the house belongs to somebody in their family, or there's something like whether this was a home that his mother lived in and he rents it now or something, because there's some control. I can feel the energetic connection to it. And Erik is pointing to the floor, like under the floor.
Well, I mean, is it, how could it be kept? I mean, is it cold? Imagine.
He's talking about the time of year.
Okay, well, I mean, is he still alive?
His energy feels like he's still alive. Clarify that for me, Erik. He's not well. He's a little older. He's older now. He's not well. It's like he's got dementia.
Okay. Does he have some sort of mental illness? You know, at the time, did he have that? Like schizophrenia or?
Erik says a preoccupation with children.
Okay.
Yes, like like pedophilia.
Was she raped by him?
Yes, yes.
Oh, God. Okay. Was there any spiritual contract going on?
You see, he's not saying this one as a, and this is what's interesting. He says there's always a spiritual purpose to everything. And even though we have to understand that when we look at this from the higher perspective,
Yeah.
spiritual purpose doesn't mean that it's comfortable for us in the human skin
No, of course
to hear it.
Wow.
And he says, so if we're looking from the much bigger picture, there's part of her soul that he's talking about this being karmic,
Yeah.
experiencing a karmic, he's calling it a closure of a cycle. But he says a lot of times, and in this one in particular, it had to do with the family. It had to do with those that were left behind and what they had to carry forward. And
Yeah.
he says that karma, remember, it doesn't mean that they did something bad. It doesn't mean that anything like that, but there was some sort of unrest at
Okay.
home.
I see. Okay. All right. Agi Desir. 6-year-old Agi Desir was just playing outside his grandmother's house when he strangely disappeared. Agi was with other kids that day, and he came in to eat dinner, but went back outside again to play. His grandmother checked on him from time to time. 15 minutes after she last saw the boy from the window, Aji's mother, grandma, took a peek again, but the young boy was gone. What worries Aji's family more is the fact that the boy has developmental issues. He is 6, but has the mind of a 2-year-old. He easily gets scared and hides when he's afraid. The sight of strangers scares Aji too, well, rightly so, prompting them to believe that he might just have hid from the searchers. It was January 2009 when Ajit Desir disappeared, but until now, his family is still hoping the boy will come back to them safe and sound. Oh. So what happened to him?
Oh, so Erik shared with me right away that he is passed. He said nobody murdered him. He said that this was him, and I can see him falling. Um, like he's got an injury. There's also cold. There's elements, but there's some sort of an injury because I can see blood, like he's fallen. Eric's showing me an area that has some sort of a dip, like there being, and it's not water, it's like falling into something hard.
How from what kind of height?
It's fairly high. It's up fairly high.
Like how many meters?
Over 30. Like it's well, I can see there's like looks like a little plateau, like
Mm-hmm.
a ledge. Do you know what area this is? Did it say?
No,
The
no, I don't know. I could look it up really quick.
Because I'm seeing like it's something that there's not that many areas that would have this look to it. Like Eric's calling it an isolated area. Like there's not a lot of places that look like this, but he ran.
It was in Florida.
Okay, well, it's steep and there's a drop to it. There's also a ledge.
Is
You
it
can
was
see a
it
ledge.
natural? Was it
What's
a
that?
natural thing, or was it a rooftop?
He's hit his head.
Mm-hmm.
It was something natural that he hit his head on.
Okay. Hmm.
Eric's also saying that there was construction, or there was some sort of building that was going on in that area. But I'm looking at a ledge that's like made out of dirt, made out of rock. It's not a building.
Okay.
He died of natural causes.
Okay. That's interesting.
Eric also says the elements. He was not in an exposed area.
Okay. And then they could nobody. He was concealed so that nobody found him.
He was concealed. He, yeah, like
So how?
animals.
Oh, animals got to him, right?
I can see him being pulled.
Pulled by what? Like stray dogs or something? Or alligators? There's alligators.
I don't know if I would call this a dog.
Kind of,
It looks like a pig.
okay, okay. But there are probably wild boars or something. Okay. Okay. Why did he run because he saw a stranger, or did he and just got lost, or what?
Eric says it's just like a kid just starts to run. Like he just got something in his head and took off.
Okay.
Just started to take off and kept going, and he didn't know where he was.
Oh, was he
He's
scared?
also out of sight. Eric said they're not completely, because part of him was exploring to a
Oh,
degree.
I
So it wasn't like I'm running like I'm in trouble or I'm running from something. But he also shares that he was connected. His family had a connection, like had faith, and he had a connection. He would tune into spirit. He may
oh,
not have expressed it in that way, but Eric says, Mom, do you remember what happened to you and what you went through and the way that like spirit was with you? He says, I was with you. He says
oh.
he was not alone, and he knew that he was not alone. So there was a sense of calm to him.
How long did it take for him to fall him? I mean, how long did he wander until he died? Was it a matter of days, hours?
Hours.
Wow. All right. Okay, we'll do one more. This is Timothy with two M's, Pitson. Get along with everybody, running down the street, always happy, always fun to be around, always looking for the next adventure, is how James Pitson describes his son. Must be God along with everyone. And for almost 6 years now, he's still hoping he will see the son he loves to seeing smile again. May 11th, 2011 was the date James drove Timothy to kindergarten early in the morning. The 6-year-old hopped out of his dad's car. James said his "I love you," to which Timothy replied with "I love you too, Dad." The kid ran off to school. Sadly, that would be James' last memory of his son. Things started to take a strange turn when Timothy's mom, Amy Pitson, picked up the boy from school before classes ended, telling his teacher there was a family emergency. The two made a trip to the zoo and 2 different water parks. Wait. Okay. I guess that wasn't a family emergency. Okay. The two made a trip to the zoo and 2 different water parks. James came to pick up his son later, only to be told he was fetched by his mother. 3 days later, Amy was found dead in a motel room of apparent suicide. Timothy, however, was nowhere to be found. James shared that Amy had been struggling with depression, but he believed she would never hurt her own son. Wow. A suicide note was found, believed to be written by Amy, which stated that Timothy was safe with people who would love and care for him, but ended with the chilling sentence, "You will never find him." So they did. He took them to the zoo and a couple of water parks, and then she went to a motel and killed herself, leaving him with, some other people. Wow. Although left with almost no clue as to where his son is, James is hoping he's actually safe somewhere, as Amy's note says. Wow. God.
He's still alive.
Oh my God.
He's still alive. So Erik had already showed me that he was with somebody. There was something that was already arranged. There was a disconnection there between mom and dad. There was a lot that was going on with her. Erik says that there are layers of depression, but there's also like shame, guilt, sadness, and anger. Not the father was a bad father at all, but because of whatever had transpired, whether it was a difficult breakup or there was some issues between the two of them.
Were
Erik
they
is giving
separated or divorced or something? Or just not getting along, or?
He's showing a line between the two of them.
Okay.
So I'm not sure if that means Erik's just saying there was issues. There was issues there.
Okay.
There was some sort of disconnection. He also said that there was some delusion in her way of thinking. There was arrangement that was made, and I can see a woman, and there's also a man standing behind the woman, and same people, and has like completely been erased. He's not in the same vicinity. I'm just asking Erik if he can share where he is. He's been in a couple different places. Erik says that he's not. I just asked him if he was taken out of the country. I'm getting no, that he hasn't been taken out of the country, but he's been moved several times.
Well, are these family members?
No.
Was he sold to these people?
Erik's calling it a deal was made.
Well,
And I'm not getting that this boy is in harm, that he's being taken care of. Like these people adopted him. If this is their story, they adopted him.
because they wanted a child? They couldn't have children, is that it?
Eric's calling it taking advantage of a situation to have a child without going through the system.
Oh, okay. How old was this couple? I mean, what kind of decade?
He says 30s.
Okay. Are they a good couple? Good parents?
He says that he does not have okay. He doesn't have a bad life, meaning that he's taken care of. He has his needs being met, but there's also because I just said to him, how can that happen with a boy old enough to be able to, kind of understand what's
Yeah.
going on? But Erik just said that we'd be surprised what the human brain does to erase trauma,
Yeah.
to block things out, because he's got very scattered memory. Did you say that he was like kindergarten age?
Yeah, 6 years old, yeah.
Okay, yeah, because Erik said 4.
Oh, yeah.
He said 4. So, okay, because he's, and that might be where his emotional state is or
Oh,
was at that time, because he shows him having like blackout memory.
so he has
So being
regret.
told, what's that?
Has he regressed emotionally then?
There are some emotional scars there, Erik says, from trauma, but he was told that this was agreed upon by his parents.
Oh, wow. He said he was told his father agreed to this?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. Was his father not a very good father?
No, Erik doesn't say that at all.
Are these new parents
Um,
give him love, enough love?
Erik said yes, but there's a certain part of his life that he doesn't live an average life, that we would think like he's being hidden, like he's
Yeah.
homeschooled. He's not.
He's like a fugitive, probably.
Yes, yes. Erik says that's right, Mom. That it's not that he is not being provided for. He's being loved like a son, but there's like a constant on the move.
Does he have siblings, adopted siblings now?
There's a sibling there. There's a girl.
Do they get along?
Erik says yes.
So is his father currently looking for him?
Erik says a parent never gives up hope.
Oh my God. Will they ever be reconnected?
Erik says that that's a possibility, yes.
I hope so. Wow. Erik, where is he?
He's in the United States.
Can you determine a state or a region of the country?
Okay. Um,
Can I use my dowsing rods?
yes. I heard Virginia as one of them.
What what about a current one?
He's showing going zigzag. Where did you say he came from?
Oh, I don't think it's sad. No.
Because I can see it going across.
I can look it up on the,
Yeah.
yeah, I'll look it up. Oh, okay. I got my detective
Um,
book.
Erik said too that this is a soul contract.
Yeah.
This one has he says there's a lot of free will that's taken place within this, but that this is a soul contract, and part of this is the boy. what will unfold for the boy as he grows into an adult.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's interesting. I got my detective work cut out for me. God, so much to do, so little time. All right. Well, thank you so much. This was amazing. We'll kick out the next time we get together. Maybe we'll kick out the other stories. The next one is
Sounds
Madeline
good.
Kahn, but I've already done that, so I already have a YouTube on that. So thank you, Michelle. This was a
Thank
little
you.
hard, but maybe some good will come out of it.
That's right.
Oh,
That's
so
right.
when we stop recording, I want you to tell me the Erik story.
Oh, yes. Yes, yes. Okay. I have to also tell you, too, that Erik is wearing jeans, a white t-shirt, and a suit jacket today. Like
Oh,
he's,
he's done that before.
yeah, yeah.
So
I've
y'all,
seen him in that before.
all right, y'all
So,
check out. Oh, you want to tell it to everybody?
oh, yes,
Erik story?
yes, yes.
Yeah, sure, why not? Go
Yes.
ahead. Tell
But
the Erik
he's,
story.
yes, because he says that there's a message with this for everybody about their loved ones and about him. Okay, so last Friday night, I woke up. I've been waking up a lot. I'm sure many people have, around 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning, in that hour. And so I love listening to Gaia, and I'll put it on in my earbuds while I'm sleeping on different things that I want to hear about while I'm sleeping. And it had shut off. And so I just woke up and I looked down at my phone, and I've got a lock screen on it, like a lot of us do. And so you have to put in your passcode before anything pops up so I can just see my time. Well, I go and look down at my phone, and before I even touched it, the volume button, like the bar with the volume across the top, pops up. And like it's not supposed to pop up there at all. And I'm looking at it like, that's weird. And I'm watching the volume go up and down and
Oh,
up
God.
and down and up and down. And I know Erik messes with my phone a lot, but I've not seen that before. And so I'm looking at it and I can feel him. And I said, okay, Erik, if that's you, stop moving it. He stops. And I said, okay, so if that's you, let me know by going up. And he goes, whoop, all the way up to the top. And then he makes it go back down. And I said, how are you doing? And he goes, whoop, and he goes back down. And I kept hearing mama. And I said, what do you want? I said, do you want me to tell your mama how much you love her this week? And he
Oh.
goes, whoop, and he kept bouncing it like whoop, 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 back and forth. So he did this for a little bit, answered questions, and it was just so cool because I, like everybody else, get so excited when he does these types of things and when spirit does it. And I've had to work really hard on not getting so excited that I block it or it stops, right?
I
So I
know.
really focused my energy with him and played with it. And it was very interesting. But what he wanted to say was, he says, everybody, when there's things going on, he says, there's a lot changing in our environment with the energy. um Everything that we're experiencing right now has created like an influx of spiritual energy. And so he says, there's things going on with your electronics and in your home. Don't doubt it. And he says, your loved ones, they're communicating with you. And he says, or it may be me. And he says, so any of you folks that are having a hard time sleeping in the night, he says, just don't be surprised if it's not me sitting there messing with your electronics, your lights, or whatever else. Oh, and he says to ask me. He goes, ask me for it. I'll be there.
Oh, that's so cool. Today, I was working with him on some, and all of a sudden, I heard a big sound in the utility room, and I was doing my wash, and I had an empty, wash basket on my dryer, and the dryer wasn't even running. It was sitting there in the middle, and it had flipped over to land upside down in front of the washer. So it's like, it's impossible, right? So I asked him with the dowsing rod. Yeah, it was me. So, devil.
He's so funny. He's
I
so
know.
funny.
All right, you guys check
Anyway.
out Michelle at thehealingh-art.com. I will put it right here. I don't like to go here because my hands look monstrous. Bye, everybody. Love y'all.
Bye.
Till
Love
next
you.
time. This is awesome as usual.